What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53. I know y'all been used to hearing my intro song. It ain't gonna be on this one right here. I'm in the process of getting another one, so it's just gonna be me introducing this brother to y'all. Man, this is a brother, man, that I was in prison with. And he's from Birmingham, Alabama, and everything that he's gonna say to you in this exclusive interview is facts. It's true. It's him. You know what I'm saying? Young man was a rider. You know what I'm saying? Still is. I'm gonna let him give you his story. You feel what I'm saying? That way, you can get it from the horse's mouth. But I know, like I say, a lot of y'all be looking for my intro, but it ain't gonna be on this one right here. Okay? Peace. What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53. Back again, man. I'm back again for a very sought after interview that a lot of people had been getting me about. They want to know, they want to hear. They was very interested in the gang life and the structure in Birmingham, Alabama. And I spoke a lot about, you know what I'm saying, how the Crips were structured. I did interviews with a lot of them. And so, therefore, to keep everything above board, of course you had to know I had to go interview the blood side of the fence. And had a lot of different people that I could have interviewed, but now the guy that's before me right today, he was the guy that I felt best to interview. He can give you a lot of insight onto the inner workings of the Bloods in Birmingham, Alabama, and what he went through. But now I'm not gonna keep talking. I'm gonna let this young man introduce himself to you.
What it do? Central Park, Birmingham, Alabama. You know, originated from there. I was born in Georgia, Fulton, Georgia County, but I got out over there. I got my stripes where I grew up from and was raised from Birmingham, Alabama, Central Park. It's my hood.
Okay. Now, what side of town is Central Park located on?
On the west side.
On the west side. And was that a predominantly blood neighborhood?
Well, no, it wasn't. We're going to take it all the way back to the 80s, because I'm going to go all the way back to some in the 80s when I was over there in the 80s, when I moved over there in the 80s. It really was a hood that was up for grabs, if it makes any sense. We really had white folks over there in that area. But when the blacks started moving over there and they began to get dominant blacks, it was Cooper Green at that time. Because like I said, it really wasn't no Bloods. Back then in that area, it was real, Bloods was like, rare. So, but it had certain sets. And as Cooper Green was more on the west side, so Cooper Green connected with a few of my OGs and big homies like Cotty, from around the way in Central Park, BIP, Cotty. We had Chrome, you got Mel, you got Scoop, you got a few heavy hitters, but they linked up with them boys right there, the Nuns, and they came in with blood, mostly because Cooper Green was already blood. So they really was bringing the blood gang over to my hood, let the truth be told. And, once the foundation got started, as a growing process, Central Park, we wanted to, do our own thing. So therefore, Cooper Green backed on off, and then that's when you had Central Park Psychos, that's what it came about, Central Park Psychos, CPP. Yeah, but back then, and for me, I jumped off the porch back in 1992. I was like 10 at the time, basically false claim. You know what I mean? I was, seeing my area where, what looked like love, that's how I proceeded it. I wasn't getting no love in my house. I was adopted, 3 different ways, so I basically, by me wanting to look for love and attention, and where I was supposed to be getting it at home, I wasn't getting it. So what looked like love out there in the hood, brothers together, they walking around, they had boombox on their head back then, my area when I was, looking out the porch like, damn, all right, and they walked together, they was unity. But keep in mind, the Bloods, they wasn't that deep back then, it was on a few, but so what that means, by us being a few, we had strength. It was like, it had to be love. It had to be, we wasn't go, we had all, because we was all we had.
It was that family unity.
Exactly. We wasn't, and it came to a point, they was even A-balling. That's like the Crips and the Bloods, you know what I mean? They coming together as one every time, you know, every now and then to try to bang. But like I said, it started off for me in 92. And I finally got switched over to the hood in 1995. You know, they always tell me, man, I was too young to be a blood. You know, man, you too young, man. I was hanging around the older dudes because younger dudes just, you know, I mean, it was like the older dudes could teach me, I could learn from them. I wanted to be like them. They had the cars, they had the money, they had a swag. They were like, them my big homies right there. So, you know, yeah, I'd do anything for them. So they pulled up on me one day in the summer, you know, least inspected, just out the blue. About 7 deep, you know what I mean, if you could say. But they were like, you ready? You know, at the point, like, I had to take a look around, you know, because when you're in the streets, you learn certain things. You're going to always pick up certain instincts, vibes, especially when you into it. So, you know, when they were like, one walked up to me, and I know, man, you don't even play like that, but then my big homie, you know, he walked up to me, he was like, you ready? So I looked back around, and I jumped back. I was like, oh yeah, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So instantly, I knew, you know, when that day come, because they always told me, you ain't no blood, and y'all didn't know how that made me feel, because I knew they were going hard with it. I knew it, because I didn't get the love I was looking for at home, and the love I was looking in the street. I'm like, that's love right there, you know, and I wanted to be a part of that, and one thing gonna stop me, you know, and when the opportunity came, I was ready, you know what I mean? I was like, what happened? You know what I mean? It was like, let's do it. And they had surrounded the circle, one hit a count, and you know, they would let me know, you don't fight that, you know, I was like, come on with it, man, you know what I'm saying? And it went down. 5 members out my hood, one dude count, the other one I guess feel like, man, I'm gonna let y'all get out for the, you know, go ahead, make sure it go right, and I handled my business, you know what I mean? They got it down for 62 seconds. You know, I'm telling y'all my stripes and how I got down in my hood. And after they did the count, I made it up. They started, song was like, all right, blood. Then they was like, it ain't over with. I'm like, all right. So we went down there and they got some bills. We went on the back and we back there and they got a dude that was more so my age. And they were like, you know, y'all go one-on-one. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? But I'm so amped up. The dude that they picked out, you know, my partner LaCour, you know, he bagged up out of there. He like, man, nah, I don't want to do that. No matter what they can say to him, I guess he knew, nah, man, I ain't going up against all this. So they picked a more advanced dude, and we got out one time. Boom, 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 boom. He get me on the ground. You give? Nah, give me up. Boom, we get on up, because we got to keep in mind, you know, I'm putting down for my hood right here. So, you know, we get down and we get down again. Boom, 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 boom. You get me down. You give. Hell no. You know, boom. We go at it again. Boom, 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 boom. You give me again. Boom. Because like I said, I'm in my learning stage coming up. You give me again. Boom, you give. Now, blood, you in. Blood. I had to, you know, get some recognition there, nigga. You in. I mean, hey, you know, boom. So now it's the little love, you know, get me drunk, get schooling me on the history, breaking the flags down to me. You know, my hood, I always knew a history about my hood because I am my hood. I'm a part of my hood, you know. My hood tatted on me, you know. That's all I know is my hood, you know what I mean? To be under growing up, so, and anybody that know me as, you know, when you define me, they'll be like, Keon from Central Park, blood. You know, that's what you know me as right there. You know, when a person be like, do you know Keon, they're gonna be like, blood from Central Park. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's the level I put down, you know.
Let me ask you this. When I heard you say that you had to get down for 62 seconds, was that signifying 6 deuce brim?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No doubt. Yeah, that was a form of 6 deuce. That's part of my hood, you know, 6 deuce brim, you know. That's a part of Central Park.
Okay. So the Bloods in Central Park, other than the other clique, the Psychos, the overall banner is 6 deuce brim.
Yeah, that's the foundation, 6 deuce brim. But now, you know, you got generation like CPP, Central Park Psycho, you know, And then after them was a level that was growing on up. Then you had the generation of pod boys. They wanna be still the hood, but this was a little different. It's like instead of us banging, cause see, let me take it back a minute. Before the Central Park Psycho, it was so deep that when I jumped off the porch back then, if you wasn't blood, I wasn't dealing with you.
Right.
I had to let you know that I was just that deep in it. It was like at a point where, you know, the things that go on today and the rules today, they far from it where they used to be back then. So, you know, it really wasn't no plan. And if you say you love a person, you love them, you know. And but to carry on, as my hood got a little older, this generation changed. In the 2000s, they came up with pod boys, and you know, it's like a hood thing. But the hood color red, and the majority of my hood blood, but it got a little leaning as it got open because everybody wasn't blood. You know, you had a few, maybe a little G's over there, and maybe a little Crips over there that just wouldn't change when we was just terrorizing stuff and ran some out, some converted over, you know what I mean? But it's a few that just stood their ground and, you know, respect the for it. Who can respect the gangster, you know?
So let me ask you this. It's a trip that you say, you know what I'm saying, wasn't the love in the house, the love was in the street, because that's the same thing I tell people all the time. What drove me to me gang banging wasn't no love in my house. I seen all my love from my big homies in the street, and I was like, that's what made me really want to be a part of that, because of the love I seen with them, and I wasn't getting it at home. And a lot of people don't understand that when you missing that at home, and you in the streets with your partners and your homies, that's your family. That becomes your immediate family. And people don't understand. You gang banging, no, we don't even look at it as gang banging no more. We look at it as I'm participating in activities with my family.
All right.
You know, I love them and they love me. But yeah, let me ask you this. Being in the streets like that, how long was it before eventually it took you to the criminal aspect of life?
Immediately. I mean, I'm in the hood. I'm hearing gunshots. I can see things going on around me, you know. So curiosity killed a cat. Then we're gonna keep it to the root of it. You gotta understand I'm coming from a broken home. So the love that you will see at a home where love, it ain't going on here. She might be setting boundaries, like you got chores. They might be in a position to just bless them with some allowance or whatever, and people like me, nah, you know what I mean? And like I said, I was adopted 3 different ways, so it kind of like, and that was before I was at the age of 6. So, you know, that family I'm with now, you know, I had 2 more before I was adopted from birth, so I had to live with some instantly in life, like, where I get my, you know what I mean, this from, and who is my fam, because, you know, it's like, I guess it's like a child, perfect example. It's like a baby. A baby might not be hungry. A child, let me tell them, baby, she might not be hungry here, she might not be hungry. They might not need, not to be changed, but they might be over there crying and acting up. You know what they're showing you? What they want is 2 things that I didn't get. They first want your attention. See what I'm saying? And now that they got your attention, they want you to just give them love. You know what I mean? And watch that child or that individual or them and watch how that it helps them. You know what I mean? And for me, I had it. You know, I had to find out why. I had to stay on my knees praying at age before I even knew what really prayer was. Well, when I got introduced what prayer was, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, I was like, that's what, you know, I prayed as a child. You know, people wouldn't even believe it. I was just that broken at 7 years old. And when I got introduced to the church, you know what I mean, that's when I began to utilize faith.
Start waking up, learn.
Yeah, I mean, I started to hear about it, but that didn't mean I fully just went forward, but I was at a place, like I'm 79, I was at a place in my life so hurt and beat down because I just wish I had some mother looking at another mother and a child in the act, and I'd be wanting to know, man, how that feel, you know?
Let me ask you this: what elementary schools and junior high and high schools did you go to?
I went to Central Park Elementary, and I went to Green Acres Middle School. When it came to high school, I was there for like a month, and I went to shooting at some dudes up there about my homie, my partner from the hood, and I wound up getting kicked out of school in Birmingham City School in the state of Alabama. Behind that.
But where back when you was coming up, did you get into it with the Crips and Disciples a lot in Birmingham?
Yeah, I had to make a name. You know what I mean? Don't nobody caring about, you know what I mean, who you is. You know, it's like you're gonna retest it.
Right.
I believe that's what life is all about. When individuals understand life is about testing and over conquering. What I had understood, I was a hard head. You know, growing up, life was hard. So they really wouldn't. I ain't give them a chance to really, come at me too tough and fuck with me. You know, it's like I could peep in there before, I was more sort of dude ready to just go and start some shit with them. You know what I mean? It's like I knew, even though I knew they wouldn't, because one thing I peeped when I was growing up too, man, it was them dudes that was always deep, this, that, and the third. Them dudes right there, man. Man, guess what? 4, 5 of us that's finna go. We finna bust that up, man. So, and I seen that because I knew, man, y'all just going that deep and finesse. So I used to see the pie or the soft side of them, and I knew they wasn't no gangsters. I was exposing. I wasn't sitting back. I was doing what I want to do. If you ain't like it, then, whatever. But I knew I had real love coming behind me. Big homies love me. My partners love me. We had code we lived by. If you didn't go, you had consequences you had to live by back then. So, like I said, it was love. That was my family. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this: what in Birmingham back then at that time? What were some of the most known areas in Birmingham that represented blood?
Wow, funny you said that. Central Park, I'm gonna scream that out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Central Park, got Great. We got Fairfield over there. Got them Fairfield Bloods over there. We got Gate City. I used to hear, I don't know, what I'm saying, too tough about this. Kingston's, I don't know if it was a little mixed breed over there, but, there was a few Bloods on the east side. But,
what about Fulton?
Fulton, that's off the west end. They up over there in the area, Fulton Bloods. That's right. The west end Blood, 23, the 23rd Bloods, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's different sets of, a blood consists of a street, you know what I mean? So it's so deep. But if I left my gang out, y'all know it ain't no love.
What about Fourth Ward?
Fourth Ward, can't forget about my partners over there, bang with the thug with them boys on the fourth, Chuck, all them, yeah, man, Just been a minute, because I'm older now, 41. So, a lot of things that I did back then as a child.
Right.
I had to be like, yeah.
So have you ever been to juvenile hall or county jail?
Yeah, that was my second home. Yeah, that was my second home, man. Like I said, when I jumped off the porch in 92, went over for the hood in 95, man, I ain't see the streets in a whole year since. I couldn't stay on the streets 365 days straight. From 1995 to 2018, I never seen the streets one whole year free.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I know the feeling.
So, going all the way back to 95, as a child, it's like my feelings was numb. I had got to a point, it was like the rules that were trying to tell me at home. How you gonna try to tell me something you don't care about? It's like it was kind of hard for me to comprehend what y'all was trying to say to me or the point you were trying. Cause it's like you'll tell me what goes on in the house, stay in the house, and then you sit right around something I do in the house and you go right over there and talk about it. But it take, somebody to go through it to understand,
That's right.
Man,
That's
don't do that. I'm a human being too, I started listening to my OGs and, man, my heart was so 10 toes down in the hood. Then it was loyal with me. It's like some dudes, how can I put this? They in the streets because they want to be in the streets, not because they gotta be. You know what I mean? Or because they have a loving mother and a loving father. To me, it's hard for me to comprehend. How a person can have a loving father, a loving mother, and you get hit. You got a better chance in life, and they giving you way more than I ever can have. Than somebody ever. I'd be like, man, I wish I had a mom that did that in the third, but I had to live with not the wishes, but acceptance. Right. I ain't got it. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, my hood. So it wasn't nothing that I was in the Ken Stripes as a youngster, man. I'm telling how I was too. When I went over for blood, it was all about putting in work. You know what I mean? And whatever it is, it's like if it's hitting a lick, if it's kicked over, if it's whooping one, if it's bust some, or it didn't matter what it was. If my OG was like, man, let's run it.
You
man,
down for the cause.
Yeah, that's what it was about. And then as I got a little older, became from a BG to a YGB, which is Young Gangster Blood. You know what I'm saying? Which is I put in the work, got my stripes on that level. Like I said, I still going to jail. Juvie. All the way out.
Let me ask you this: when you went to the county jail, were they still segregating Crips, Bloods, and Disciples on the ninth floor, on the ninth and eighth floor?
Yeah, I had to find out the hard way about that. Yeah,
oh, when you first came in, they asked you and you didn't tell them.
I had a MOB tattoo on me. That was the only tattoo I had on me at the time. And like I said, I think I'm hard. You know, just a little youngster, and I've been through jail already. At least I think, but just. Say nothing no different, you know what I mean? So they trying to talk to me like little common questions, like they asked me a question like, are you a blood? Are you a crook? Are you in the gang? I'm sitting in there like, cause I was just, I ain't never been in there. I'm feeling like anything I say to y'all, I'm telling them myself, I ain't no rat, I ain't no nothing.
Right.
So I ain't got no talk. Man, so boom. I guess one of them peeped it. By them saying the MOB, they was older. They guards, so I guess they like, I seen that before. You remember blood? You want to be smart with me? So they deliberately put me in the OG block.
Oh man.
Man, I had like I said, man.
And what year was this?
This was in 1999. They had to be like in 2000. When I was 18, whatever. When I was 18 years
right.
old. You know what I mean? I was up in that boom. And I never forget it. And how I knew I was in the OG block, because I didn't know it at first. Like I said, I went in there, I'm real quiet. People sing, it ain't no scariness in me. So, because it's a world inside a world for those that don't know jail. It's like so I go in there on my, peep the game. I ain't got no talk, really don't know nobody in there. So I'm just on my P's and Q's, up under the stairs every day where they fight. You know what I mean? I'm really by myself. I don't know nobody. It's my first time.
You was up under the stairs?
Yeah, I used to sit up under the stairs and watch the TV. You know what I mean? You know how sometimes, they be beating on the things up under there. But
so you already put yourself in the get jumped on spot.
Right, because I had peeped that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, when I came in, this wasn't my first time in there. This was my first time in there. You know what I mean? I take that back. So I had already known they were like, stay from under the stairs, because the guard told me that. I just want to do the opposite.
Right. You hard.
Tell me, I'm going to do. But like I said, I went up under there and I used to go up under there and watch the TV. And I used to peep certain things, how they do stuff. Seen a bunch of this wild dudes over there, they asked me where I'm from. I'm like, such a part. You know what I mean? And they ain't know me and this, that, and the third. And they went to just steal and trade. Little weak dudes that was in there, I used to see looking line and they just go to pulling 2 trays. I'm like, hold on, shit, we all supposed to get one. Let me go to skipping line too. But I wasn't believing in it. And then one day, one of my homies from the hood, I seen him the next day. He hit up blood. I hit up brim back. You know what I mean? Instantly. And that's when I knew I was in the wrong block. That was like on the crown. See, when they said on the crown, I used to hear on the boss from the GD, but I heard that was like, yeah, he's one of these GD. He was talking about the crown right here, and ever since then it was like, it wasn't picking it, but you'll know somebody shooting a shot at you. Mm-hmm. They would be over there in their little group, and then you would hear them talking while you watching TV, and they'd be like, man, I had shot one of them since Park. So, I'm like, man, what the hell he talking? So I go up and be like, man, what you said, dude? Who you shot? Oh, no, I know you ain't shot nobody from my hood, bro. Man, I went back to talking, and I went through that incident one more time after I thought I checked him. And all along, it's like I'm finna fall into whatever they little plan they got. But like I said, I always been that one that, man, I'm not finna let it come to me if I can see it. So now, he went back to saying something about my hood again, and I checked him. And next thing I know, man, we didn't get it on that night, but that morning, because it was time to lock down, it was like the time when I checked them, cars opening the door, I'm like, okay, and then everybody knew in the morning it's going down. So we got it on up under the stairs the next morning. Cause they ain't want us to bump in the room where that blood can get everywhere. So they're like, nah, man, you ain't gonna fight in my room. Go and wait till we get under the stairs. So we got to bump it under the stairs. And I got the best of them. You know, I wound up getting the best of them so bad that I learned to guard your rib. If you listen to me in your fight, man, guard your rib, dog. You know, cause I was bumping with him and I had my arms up. He had his arms up, we tussling. One of his partners seen me getting the best of him, handling so hard, he picked his arms up and he hit me in my rib like he swinging a bat. Boom! Broke me, you know what I'm saying? Boom, man. But the heart that I had, you know, that it's just your heart. I get you through something. The big homies in the hood seen, where the big homies in the block, the older guys, they seen, oh, nah, y'all trying to close them, and they came on, like, no, get them up out, you know, because straight up, I was a man when I came in there. I handled myself like a man when I was in there. And when it was time to perform and get down for who I am as a man, I handled my business. So, you know, it was older dudes in there that felt like, nah, we don't let it go like that. Let them do whether I was one a part of what they was or not. They respected. Then they got me out of that block and put me in the all blood block. Yeah, it was serious, man.
So let me ask you this. So eventually, behind your lifestyle and the way you was coming up in the streets, you know what I'm saying, being gang active, you know what I'm saying, hustling, getting your money, whatever you was doing, it was leading you in and out that county jail. Eventually, did you go to prison?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went to prison twice. My first bid for robbing. You know, my first bid was 5 years. And, though I had did so much, they had stacked so many cases on me, you know what I mean? Little did I know, by the time they chopped them down and I had copped out the 4, I ain't see the future like I can see it now. You know, I can think. I ain't see the system set me up, so I went down to prison and did them 5 years like a G. You know what I mean?
So your first bid was 5?
Yeah.
Okay, Foundation. This is going to end part 1, and stay tuned for part 2. I know y'all interested because I'm interested. It's my first time hearing the story, and I'm liking it too. So I'm knowing y'all enjoying it. So just stay tuned. We gonna pick back up at part 2 where the homie entered into the Alabama prison penal system. So stay tuned. Peace.